Hello trainers, and welcome to another episode of Pokéology, a show where each week I talk to you about the biology of Pokemon based on the research that I have found. My name is Professor Sacrum, and today we'll be taking a look at the Crimson Clipper Scizor. As per usual, we will be asking the following questions when we look into each Pokemon. What does it look like? What does it eat? Where can I find it? What does the Pokédex say? How does it survive? And how do I train it? Let's go to the first clip and see what Scizor looks like. Get it? Clip. Scissors. Scizor. Clip. Scissors and just go. Just go to the first clip. Just go. Scizor are bipedal insect Pokemon that are covered in a red metallic exoskeleton. The forewings and hind wings on a Scizor's back are retractable with a curved venation. A Scizor's head resembles that of a kite with three blunt horns extending from the top of its forehead. These Pokemon have intense yellow eyes with deep black pupils. If you look around Scizor's neck, you can see what looks to be black exposed skin. The abdomen also has this, and since we're here I might as well mention that a female Scizor will have a larger abdomen than a male. Now let's take a look at the construction of Scizor's arms. The shoulders are broad and seem to be segmented from the thorax. The arms are also segmented and incredibly thin. At the end of the arms are one of the more recognizable features of Scizor, the pincers. These pincers are round and also appear to be segmented. You will also notice that these pincers each have two circles on either side. There's a black circle surrounding the yellow one. It kinda looks like Trapinch. But hold on to that, because we'll use it later. I want to go on to Scizor's legs. They start out at the hip joints, which are similar to the shoulders in that they too are broad and segmented. The thighs of a Scizor are lacking in thickness, however the calves are a bit on the larger side. At the end of the foot, Scizor has two clawed toes with one in front and the other in the back. But let's take a moment and go back to the revealed skin. Something doesn't sit right, because look at Scizor's eyes when it blinks. The eyelids are red. If Scizor's skin was naturally black, wouldn't the eyelids be too? Maybe we'll get some answers if we look at the Mega Evolution of Scizor. Now, the most significant and obvious trait to change about Scizor upon Mega Evolution is that the pincers that Scizor have are now longer and have developed serration-esque teeth on the inner parts of the pincers. The lower halves of these pincers have gone from red to white, and have grown three pointed spikes on the underside. The yellow that once surrounded Scizor's pupils have since turned blue. Now, I know you've noticed all the black pieces that have surfaced on the body. Well, I believe that this was never Scizor's skin to begin with, but it was an armor that it had to protect vital areas on its body. Now, this black armor covers more areas thanks to the power of the Mega Stone. There is a three-pointed kite-shaped piece of armor on Scizor's forehead. The shoulders are now covered in the armor and the hips are encased in it also. And the black armor that was on the abdomen has now started to protrude outward. The thighs of Mega Scizor seem to be shorter, and the calves seem to not only have extended, but have also grown larger and pointier in shape. In fact, Mega Scizor doesn't even have two toes anymore, just one that points straight to the ground. With Scizor being one of the kings of the bug world, it is capable of hunting a larger variety of different Pokemon. Mainly being insectivores, they go after larger bug-type Pokemon. However, since Scizor are so big, they are able to be carnivorous sometimes, being able to hunt Pokemon like Apom, Bidoof, Gligar, and even Seviper. The good thing about being a Pokemon trainer is that you don't have to feed it with this diet. This is only for the survival in the wild, so you don't have to worry about taking another Pokemon's life. Scizor is one of those cases where it is rare to find in the wild, but if you do, it can be very dangerous. So instead, I'd advise you to not look for Scizor and stay away from any wild ones you encounter. But I am able to tell you where you can find its pre-evolution Scizor in the wild. But be careful, because these Pokemon also can be very dangerous. If you're in Kanto, you can try to find one in the Safari Zone in Fuchsia City, and for the gamblers, you can try to win one in the Rocket Game Corner in Celadon City. In Johto, you can look in the National Park, however they only seem to come out during the bug catching contest, and are rarer than most other Pokemon. In Sinnoh, you can look around routes 210, 215, and 229. And finally, in Kalos, you can find Scizor on Route 21. Now from there, if you want Scizor to evolve into Scizor, you're going to need to have it hold the Metal Coat item and have it go through the trade machines. This causes a genetic mutation to allow Scizor to evolve into Scizor. Now let's take a look at our handy dandy Pokedex and see what it has to say about our metallic bug buddy. Its wings are not used for flying. They are flapped at high speed to adjust its body temperature. It swings its eye pattern pincers up to scare its foes. This makes it look like it has 3 heads. Scizor has a body with the hardness of steel. It is not easily fazed by ordinary sorts of attacks. This Pokemon flaps its wings to regulate its body temperature. It has a steel-hard body. It intimidates foes by upraising its eye pattern pincers. It raises its pincers with eye-like markings for intimidation. It also swings them down dangerously. This Pokemon's pincers, which contain steel, can crush any hard object it gets a hold of into bits. You can probably tell just by looking at Scizor that its primary weapon in the wild are its pincers. According to the Pokedex though, they aren't just offensive. The pincers are a way to lure or intimidate foes and prey. Remember when I said they kinda look like Trapinch? Well, this is a device that Scizor used to bring in prey that think they can chow down on Trapinch for lunch. The tables are then turned very quickly when Scizor decides to reveal itself. Now I just want to say that Scizor is a curious find. For a while, scientists believed that Scizor, the pre-evolution, only had one form. Until one day while researching, they noticed Scizor had a reaction to some strange natural metals. It was then that Scizor was discovered to be the evolution of Scizor. Scientists have since harnessed the power of this strange metal and created the Metal Coat. I guess my point here is that Scizor isn't incredibly common in the wild. So full research has yet to really be conducted on how Scizor survives in the wild. We only know what is in the Pokedex, and that's not really a lot. But it does tell us about some of its survival instincts, and it kinda just basically took my job. Well, the first thing you're going to need to know about Scizor is that they are bug and steel type Pokemon, meaning that they are only 4 times weak to fire, and that Scizor resists normal, ice, psychic, bug, dragon, steel, fairy, and are 4 times resistant to grass type moves. Next, you're going to want to know that Scizor has access to either one of 3 abilities, being Swarm, Technician, and Light Metal. Swarm is an ability that boosts the power of bug type moves by 50% when your Pokemon's HP falls below 1/3 of its maximum health. It's similar to Overgrow, Blaze, and Torrent. Technician boosts moves with a base power of 60 or less by 50%, and Light Metal halves the weight of the Pokemon. It's good to know also that Scizor, when it Mega Evolves, will have the ability Technician. Now let's take a look at Scizor's base stat chart. We can see here that Scizor has a fairly good base stat distribution, with its attack and defense being the highest stats. It has 130 and 100 respectively. So we can tell off the top of our heads that Scizor is a Pokemon who is a hard hitter physically and very physically bulky. The next highest stat for Scizor is Special Defense, which sits at 80. This stat isn't terrible, but it could stand to be a lot better. Upon Mega Evolving, Scizor gains a significant stat boost all around. Starting from attack, we see that it goes from 130 to 150. Defense goes from 100 to 140, special attack goes from 55 to 65, special defense goes from 80 to 100, and finally speed from 65 to 75. These stat changes make Scizor much more versatile than before. There are a few options you can choose as sets for both Scizor and Mega Scizor. For this first set, you're going to want to have a Scizor with an impish nature and the ability Light Metal. Give it the Scizorite item to hold and spread the EV's 248 HP, 84 attack, and 176 special defense. Now give it the moves Sword Stance, Roost, Bullet Punch, and Knock Off. This set is to allow Mega Scizor to live long and hit hard. Starting off with a Sword Stance is going to really help you deal good damage by getting your attack to +2. Having Bullet Punch is great because of the priority, stab, and the boost it gets from Mega Scizor's Technician ability. Knock Off is to help cripple your opponent's Pokemon by getting rid of their item. But be careful because some Pokemon like Hawlucha and Hitmonlee really appreciate losing their item due to the ability Unburden. And finally, Roost is to help Scizor survive a little longer by regaining some HP. For this next set, you're going to want a Scizor with an Adamant nature and the ability Technician. Give it the Choice Band to hold and spread the EV's 248 HP, 212 attack, and 48 defense. After that, make sure it knows the moves Bullet Punch, Superpower, U-Turn, and Knock Off. This set has a simple way of looking at things. Hit hard and commit. The Choice Band item will lock this Scizor into one move until it is switched out. This set is a good momentum pusher because it allows you to gain switch advantage by using U-turn, and because it's stab, you'll be dealing a good bit of damage to whatever you make contact to. Superpower is there to help with other steel types, while Bullet Punch is there for priority, and Knockoff is just a great dark type move that is strong and gets rid of opponents' items, unless it's a form changing item such as a Mega Stone or a Plate. This next build for a Scizor is very similar to that of the last. You're going to want an Adamant Nature and the ability Technician. Give it the Choice Band to hold and spread the EV's 248 HP, 252 attack, and 8 special defense. Then make sure it knows the moves U-turn, Bullet Punch, Knockoff, or Pursuit, and finally Superpower. The only difference between this set and the last is that you're going to be hitting a little harder due to more attack investment, and will also be able to take a special attack a lot easier. A good reason to put Pursuit over Knockoff is if you want to do damage to a Pokemon that is switching out. It's a good way to get a KO on a Pokemon that your opponent might want to use for KO fodder. Just remember, any move you pick while in with Scizor will be locked in, and you can't change your move until you switch out or your Choice Band is knocked off. Now here's another set that people have found to be viable. Get yourself a Scizor with an Adamant Nature and the ability Technician. Slap on the Assault Vest and spread the EV's 248 HP, 112 attack, and 148 special defense. Then give it the moves Bullet Punch, U-turn, Pursuit, and Superpower. This set runs differently because Scizor is commonly offensive. However, this time we will be using it as a specially defensive wall. The Assault Vest combined with the EV spread will allow Scizor to take little damage from special attacks. The move spread is essentially used the same way as before, except this time you are not locked into one move. This final set for Scizor requires you to have one with an Impish Nature and the ability Light Metal. Give it the Scizorite to hold and spread the EV's 252 HP, 4 attack, and 252 defense. Then give it the moves Defog, Roost, Bullet Punch, and either Knockoff, Superpower, or U-turn. This Mega Scizor is built to be like a physical wall. Defog is there to help get rid of hazards on your opponent's field, Roost is there to help stay healthy. The other moves are there to help chip away at your opponent's HP. And there you have it, Scizor, the Topiary Gardening King. Well, that's my show for this week. Remember, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. By doing so, you allow yourself to enter in the Sacrum raffle, where you have the chance to win the Pokemon discussed in this week's episode of Pokéology. Also, do not forget to leave your friend codes and battle codes in the comment section below, because I could use some Wi-Fi battles. Speaking of which, do not forget to join me on Saturday at 10 PM Eastern Standard Time, where I will be live streaming on twitch.tv/Professor Sacrum. The link is in the description, and I will see you there for Wi-Fi battles. Now next week I may not have another episode of Pokéology, but I may have one in the next 2 weeks, so please stand by, and I will see you guys next time.